The wind howled fiercely through the forest, the trees swaying under the power of the storm. Among the forest's oldest trees stood two very different beings: a mighty oak tree, strong and proud, and a delicate bamboo, tall but slender. The oak tree stood tall, its bark rough and unyielding. It had seen many storms, its branches reaching high into the sky. The bamboo, on the other hand, was nothing like the oak. It was thin, its stalks graceful, swaying gently even in the lightest breeze. In the calm, the bamboo looked fragile, almost insignificant compared to the oak's towering strength. As the storm grew stronger, the oak tree tightened its stance. The winds pushed against its solid trunk, howling through its branches, but the oak refused to bend. "I have stood here for centuries," the oak seemed to say. "I will not be moved." But the wind was relentless. It pressed harder against the oak, bending its branches back, until the limbs began to snap under the pressure. The oak stood firm, but the force of the storm was too much. The branches, once proud and strong, broke off one by one, leaving the oak weakened, its form shattered. Meanwhile, the bamboo swayed with the wind. It bent low, almost touching the ground as the gusts came, yet it never snapped. It bent, and then slowly, gently, it stood up again. With each wave of the wind, the bamboo adapted, leaning into the force, never resisting but always moving with the current. The storm lasted for hours, and though the bamboo bent and swayed, it didn't break. When the storm finally passed and the winds died down, the oak lay shattered on the ground, its once strong limbs scattered around its base. The bamboo, though bent and tired, stood upright again, its stalk swaying gently in the breeze. The aftermath was striking. While the oak had tried to stand against the storm's power, its stubbornness had led to its destruction. The bamboo, with its ability to bend and yield, had survived. The bamboo was not stronger than the oak. It was not as tall, and it had fewer branches to catch the wind, but it had something the oak did not: flexibility. The bamboo had learned that there was strength in giving way, in moving with the flow of life, rather than resisting it. This story is a powerful lesson for all of us. Life, like the storm, can be unpredictable. It can push us down, break our hearts, and leave us questioning our own strength. But when we face challenges, we often have two choices: to stand firm like the oak, refusing to bend, or to yield like the bamboo, learning to bend with the wind and finding new ways to survive. The oak may appear stronger, but its inability to adapt led to its downfall. The bamboo, though it may seem fragile, understood that in times of hardship, it must adjust, bend, and grow with the challenge. It shows us that flexibility, not stubbornness, can be the key to overcoming life's storms. The bamboo didn't simply survive the storm. It grew stronger through it. The next storm, whenever it would come, wouldn't be as threatening to the bamboo because it knew how to adapt. Life's challenges won't break it because it understands the importance of flexibility. The oak, however, did not have the luxury of learning from the storm. Its stubbornness left it broken and unable to face the next challenge. We, too, face storms in our lives. We encounter moments of hardship, fear, and doubt. Some of us try to hold firm, thinking that if we don't bend, if we don't change, we'll remain strong. But just like the oak, we can find ourselves broken when the pressure becomes too great. What if, instead of resisting the winds of change, we allowed ourselves to bend? What if we learned to adapt and flow with the challenges life throws at us, instead of forcing ourselves into a shape that's hard to maintain? There's a psychological power in being flexible. It's not about giving up on your dreams or values. It's about knowing when to step back, reassess, and adjust to what life presents. Just as the bamboo bends to the wind, we can learn to bend in the face of stress, disappointment, or failure, only to stand upright again once the storm has passed. Flexibility allows us to grow, while stubbornness can leave us stuck, unwilling to move with the world around us. But the lesson doesn't end with just surviving. The bamboo teaches us that every storm offers us a chance to become stronger. Each time the wind blows and we bend, we learn something new about ourselves. The oak may have stood its ground, but in the end, it was the bamboo's ability to adapt and learn from its challenges that allowed it to thrive. In life, many of us feel like we need to be strong in the traditional sense. We believe we must stand firm, never change, and always be in control. But strength is not just about staying rigid, it's about being open to change. It's about having the courage to bend when necessary, to shift our approach when the old ways no longer serve us, and to trust that we are capable of standing again after we've adjusted. The bamboo reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, we have the power to grow, to adapt, and to emerge stronger. We are not defined by how rigidly we stand in the storm, but by how well we adapt to the winds of life. Life will test us. It will try to push us down, to challenge everything we believe in, and at times, it may seem impossible to move forward. But just like the bamboo, we must learn to bend, to flow with the changing tides, and to trust that we will stand once more when the storm is over. By doing so, we will find a strength that can weather any storm, no matter how fierce it may be. The oak tree's downfall was its failure to recognize that true strength doesn't come from resisting the world. It comes from understanding it, from knowing when to hold firm and when to yield. The bamboo's victory wasn't about its size or height, but about its ability to adapt, to bend, and to grow. It shows us that in life's greatest challenges, we often find our greatest strength in our ability to be flexible, to let go of rigid ideas, and to adjust to whatever life throws our way. So, the next time life pushes you to the edge, remember the bamboo. It didn't fight against the storm. It didn't struggle to stay upright. Instead, it bent, and in doing so, it survived. It stood tall, not because it was unbreakable, but because it knew how to adapt. And in the end, it is the bamboo that teaches us the most valuable lesson. Strength is not about being unyielding, but about learning how to bend with the winds of life, growing stronger in the process.